If you clicked on this video, you probably realize that creating content isn't just about waking up, coming up with some ideas, filming some stuff, and then posting it out. There are a lot more layers and strategy involved in creating content consistently. And you're probably looking at all the top creators wondering how they're doing it. Maybe you've tried to outsource to editors, explaining your editing and your style and how you want everything to look. Or if you're hiring these editors from third world countries and their internet goes out, but we all know that they're probably just not working and it's just stressful trying to communicate with them to get the edits back to us. Or you've tried to hire content agencies that just plug you in with their account manager and just stick to cookie cutter edits that make you look like everyone else just so that they can speed up their workflow. And you're probably not getting the attention or the strategy that you actually need. So if you really want to grow your personal brand, I'm going to show you why installing content infrastructure is the most important thing. So in this video, I want to show you how to build your own content infrastructure. And this solution I've created for high ticket coaches, entrepreneurs, and business owners that want to simplify the content creation process, keeping it organized and stress-free, knowing exactly what to create and do it consistently without feeling drained or burnt out. Recognized as a leader in your industry and attracting your ideal audience by staying true to your values. And all the content does the hard work for you, educating, building trust, and creating such a strong connection that your audience is ready to work with you before your first conversation. And it gives you all the freedom to focus on high value activities like building relationships, delivering value to your clients, or just living your life and spending more time with family and friends. So my promise to you is by the end of the video, you will have a clear and straightforward plan that you can implement yourself to achieve these 4 things. But before we get into it, why build a content infrastructure? The reality is that this is what all the top creators in every industry are using to create content consistently. Like I mentioned, they're not just waking up thinking about content as a side thing. They've built infrastructure and systems that allows them to actually create content. So by doing this, you will actually learn how to create content consistently instead of just being okay with creating 1 or 2 posts a week. Because to be real, that's not really going to get results. You won't have to rely on content agencies that probably just don't care about you. And if you're a business owner that don't want to do random dances or chasing trends for views, but actually just want to give value and help people. Look, I'll be real with you. I know that you're not going to build this without understanding your why. I want to share with you an example with Alex Hormozi and the moment that it clicked for him that he needed to focus on creating content at scale and why it was so important. If you don't know by now, the reason why he decided to go all in on content is because he saw Kylie Jenner at 21 becoming a billionaire. And what he realizes, she was not any smarter than him, or she didn't have all these business skills of marketing, sales, operations. And he knew he had the ability to help gyms. But the reason he was still hustling and flying out to all these places, trying to sell every gym owner, is because he didn't have this one thing that Kylie Jenner had, a personal brand and attention. So him understanding that he already had all the information and knowledge to give, it was just that one moment that clicked for him to realize if he was able to package all of that information that he had consistently out in the world, he would easily be able to earn as much as Kylie Jenner because he knew deep down what he could offer to the business world. And look, I want to show you why it's so important to understand your why. Because for me, looking back, the most valuable skills and insights I've gained have almost always come from either investing in a coach or mentor or learning from free content. I'll be real, I didn't go to university and I didn't get a job, so I had to figure out how to build something for myself. But I knew that information or education was the key. So I was always hustling to look for more information to learn how to build a business. And for me, I even noticed when I was a lot younger that everyone was moving online for their education, learning the smallest things like how to scramble eggs. And now we're at the point that we can almost learn anything. Financial education when it comes to investing or buying property, learning how to build businesses in all the different areas, sales, marketing, the different types of businesses that you can build. Everything is online. And all the information I was slowly taking in, the one thing that I realized is some of the content I watch has been online for 4 months, 11 months, 1 year, 2 years, even 3 years. And that was the moment that it clicked for me. And realizing that the energy and effort I put in now is actually still going to do the work for me, even in 2 years and 3 years. So I don't want to play a short-term game where I'm just trying to go viral and try to get as much attention now. It was about how we could build infrastructure so we could do that sustainably over time. And that's why without understanding your why, you won't play the long-term game and you won't be bothered to build this yourself. But the truth is, the greatest asset anyone can build right now is their personal brand. There is no higher form of leverage than you doing something today and still existing in 3, 5, 10 years from now, especially when you can repurpose and repackage that. But we'll get to that. Just as an experiment, I want you to comment below the day, the month, and the year that you're actually watching this. I'm curious to see how far in the future this video is still impacting people. No matter what industry you're in, there are people just like me that's craving very specific information, whether it's fitness, interior design, building software, automations. I really believe that content is the opportunity to solve these problems for these people that are desperately searching for this. And that's why it's my mission to help business owners, entrepreneurs, coaches, dial in their content system so you can reach more people and reliably bring in clients. The reason most people don't have this built out is usually because You're probably confused about how to grow a personal brand or creating efficient systems that you can use. Like, be real with me. Do you have all your footage all over the place, stored on your phone, your laptop, your computer? That's going to be one of the first things that's going to stop you from creating consistently. But maybe you're just focusing on mastering your craft, or you don't have time to create high quality content, or you're just focused on servicing your clients. The thing is, these are really good things. You actually focusing on becoming the best version of yourself and then serving your clients to the best of your ability. But if you feel like you have a really great product or service and want to serve more people, then I created this video specifically for you. So before even getting into creating all the content, the number one focus is developing your ICP, which is your ideal client profile. The description of your ICP is the blueprint for everything that you create. All your content, offers, and services should be filtered through this with the question, how will this serve my ideal client profile and get them from point A to point B? Without understanding this strategy, all of your time and energy going into creating content is wasted if it's not going to the right person. You need to solve one specific problem for one specific person, really understanding their biggest pain points, their deepest fears, their dream outcomes, and burning desires, so that every piece of content is aimed at moving this person away from their deepest fears and towards their dream outcome. Because creating content is not showing all about like, this is all the information that I know. The whole point of content is to serve your audience. You want the viewer to feel heard and understood, and you want to give them a new perspective so that they can see their dream outcome as that possibility. So whenever you make content, you have to ask yourself this question: does this content relate to and build trust with these people? Reliability is the most overlooked and underrated aspect of personal branding. Like, are you actually showing up every day? And when they watch a piece of content, are you actually delivering on what you said in the first place? Does your content show them that you can take them where they actually want to be? Do you help them move away from their deepest fears, out something that they're afraid of, and actually guide them away from it? Attracts your ICP and repels everyone else. Remember, you're not creating content for everybody. You'll have one hater for every supporter. And you have to ask yourself, am I doing enough to repel these people? Serve your one dream follower and get people to hate your other POV. So what I mean by this is not to just stir up the pot and cause controversy. What I mean is, no matter what you stand on, somebody's always going to have something else to say. If I say organic content is the way, the paid ads guy is going to hate me. But I have to stand on my belief and my perspective because that's what I've done to help my clients. If someone says the best way to build wealth is through property or in crypto, whatever you stand on, someone's going to hate the other angle. But what everyone has to realize is you have to be true and authentic to you and stand on your beliefs, because the people that actually like what you say, you will attract them closer into your world, repelling those that don't see your worldview, which is a good thing. And remember, the more specific you are, the more broad you can actually be, because humans aren't one-dimensional. If my ICP wants to grow their personal brand, it doesn't mean I only have to talk about content creation. Instead of just yelling at them saying you got to create content again and again, you can talk about any other aspects of your life and relate it back to how you're serving your audience. It could be philosophy, it could be design, it could be fashion. Instead of me just saying you need to create content again and again, I could talk about with fashion, if you present yourself in a certain way, you're going to be approached differently. And how that's the exact same thing with your content. If you present yourself nicely with good lighting, good camera, good audio, you're going to be looked at very differently. The next is actually developing a content flywheel. So why a flywheel? A pump requires ongoing active effort to push something forward. Once you stop pumping, the motion ceases. But a flywheel stores rotational energy and gains momentum as you continually apply force. And over time, it becomes self-sustaining and requires less effort to keep it moving. You might feel like that with creating content. Every single day, you got to wake up and you got to put the effort, coming up with new ideas, storing all the information everywhere, posting everything out. A flywheel is about building a system that feeds itself and compounds over time, leading to sustainable growth with less ongoing effort. A pump is useful for short bursts of output, but not designed for long-term momentum or efficiency. This is the reason why it feels so hard. You're constantly working the pump. This is not only in the content that you've put out, requiring your energy to explain to every new lead exactly what you do, how you serve them, how you can transform their lives. Without having enough content out there and that working for you, you're going to have to consistently work as the pump to give that information every single time. Whereas if you have enough content, it's going to consistently work for you over time. But it's the same with how you create content too. Whether you're looking for a new editor every single time or trying to find a new agency that you can build that relationship with and start everything up again, or even every single time that you have to create content, you have to get all this energy to get all these ideas out and figure out how to set up the camera, how to edit everything. All of this is you acting like a pump and not a flywheel. In today's world, building a flywheel through content marketing, strong customer relationships, and scalable systems is the smarter way to achieve sustainable success. So when it comes to actually producing the content, having systems for ideation, scripting, filming, editing, by having all of your content organized and easy to access, and all the resources that you actually need with how to write scripts or scripting frameworks, or even your music library, any AI tools that you can use to speed up your content creation, and all of your editing assets all in one place. Or even if you have an editor to plug into that same database so that they can work synchronized with you. creating editing SOPs for them, and an editor guide for your style, your fonts, your colors. Just by having this dashboard plugged into your system, it's going to speed up their editing and their output. Having a proper database where it's easy to locate and ready to repurpose, saving you time and maintaining consistency as your library grows. This is one of the biggest changes for most of my clients, is actually having a structure to how you store all of your content. It makes the editor's job so much easier. It makes it easy for you to distribute and repurpose. Installing automation so it can handle repetitive tasks like scheduling and posting, so your message is amplified across multiple platforms, maximizing your reach and impact without any additional effort. But not only in the distribution, but the creation process as well. With having all your content stored on your Google Drive, it can be automatically plugged into your Notion database. Or if you have ideas that you just send to yourself, that get stored in all of your draft ideas. Or like I mentioned, having all of that content stored in Notion being distributed out automatically. This is something I built for myself, that I store all of my content for every single platform. And that way I can automatically input all of my content here and distribute it out straight from here. And by having all your content stored in one place, repurposing makes it so much easier, actually ensuring that your content is working smarter, not harder. It also maintains consistency in your brand messaging and allows you to repurpose a single piece of content into multiple formats to reach more audiences. Learning how to take every piece of content, whether it's a video or in copy form, and transform it to the other platforms. Taking Instagram videos and transcribing them to turn them into an email or YouTube clip, turning them into an email or LinkedIn post, or taking a Twitter thread and transforming that into a script for YouTube video. By using this repurposing technique, you'll be able to transform all your content infinitely. But this is a whole topic in itself, so I've linked another video up above that you can check out as well. So by building this content infrastructure, you will be able to spend less time creating, freeing up energy to serve your clients and grow your business. You will be able to post with ease, keeping your brand at the top of mind for your audience. You will be able to build momentum and authority where your clients view you as the expert that they've been searching for. You're going to be leveraging your time wisely, knowing that your content is a long-term investment that scales. And finally, you will build an asset that grows your audience and revenue even when you're not actively working on it. So if you build this content infrastructure and you allow the flywheel to work for you, you now just let the content do the hard work of connecting and building relationships with your ICP. Okay, look, I've told you what you need to do, but you still might have some of these questions. How do I know where to start building a personal brand that feels authentic and sustainable? How do I structure my content so it attracts the right audience and repels the wrong ones? How do I set up some of these automations to save time? How do I know if my content is building enough trust to convert leads into paying clients? How to identify and fix the bottlenecks in my content process that are slowing me down? And how I can structure my life so I can do all of this in less than a handful of hours per day. Look, I totally understand that installing all of this actually takes a bit of time. And having the idea is 10-20% of the work, and 80-90% is actually implementing it into your business. Some of you probably look at it and it feels so complicated that you're probably just going to give up after 2 weeks. But the truth is, you're going to install some sort of system and infrastructure if you're on the path of growing your personal brand. And the longer you wait, the harder it's going to get. So I want to ask you, what if you could just focus on sharing your message while we build all the systems, streamline and automate everything else? This is what I would love to do for you. But I only want to work with serious people who have a big vision and deep desire to really change people's lives. So if that feels like you, then click the link below, because I want to connect with you if you feel like your product or service is really good, but you're just not getting enough eyeballs on it. I want you to still go through every single aspect today and start building out all of those systems, because at the end of the day, you already have a system right now. It's just probably not working for you. So spend the time and go through each aspect and build that infrastructure for your business. With that being said, I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you have any questions with any of the systems, feel free to DM me on Insta and I'll get back to you. But other than that, I hope you have a good day and I'll see you soon. Peace.